Welcome to the NorCal Minute, bite-sized business advice presented by the Shasta-Cascade SBDC. Today, Brooke, an HR expert, is walking us through how to effectively manage our teams during a crisis. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us about HR during these COVID times.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So it's no secret, things are weird right now. So we're all stuck at home and people are losing jobs left and right. So what are some
Yeah.
of the things from an HR professional perspective? What are some things that have really changed in HR during this COVID time, or some things that people maybe need to be looking out for?
Oh, that's a great question. I think this has really made a lot of small businesses, especially, reevaluate their benefits package, and look at, what does our time off look like? Why do we not have sick time available and all of those things? Because all of a sudden now it's mandated and you have to do it. So what would it look like if you had that already in place in the first place? And I do work with some companies that already had fantastic, sick time policies. And so this really wasn't anything super new to them. And they were prepared and they had a plan in place. And even though there were, with all these bills and everything, there were tax credits and things available if you offer certain, types of leave. But what was just interesting is that it really threw off the people that weren't offering those benefits, because it was like, oh my gosh, a whole new world. So I think that's one thing that coming out of this is going to be different, is people are really going to start looking at their benefits and how they're taking care of people in their sick time and their vacation time. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. There's so much. It's kind of like the Wild West right now. It's like everything is just happening all at the same time. Everything goes and nothing goes. It's fascinating. I think too, there's this interesting thing happening where the trust between employees and employers is breaking, or it's becoming really, really strong. Because what's happening is, a business is struggling and they have to let go of their team, and their team is like, we get it, we have to go, but the trust is still broken, because when times are hard, you get ditched. And then there's other businesses right now who are like, we're going to do everything we can to keep you. We're going to get creative. We're going to start offering new options like we've never offered before, just so we can keep you. That trust just got a whole lot stronger. So it is a fascinating thing to see happen on such a quick pace and large scale to everybody. So those are two things that are kind of highlighted to me right now that I've seen.
Yeah. So if you're talking to a company that really wants to be on the right side of history with the trust, and they want to make sure they're communicating to their employees everything that you just said, what are some tips that you have for those companies to maintain that trust, and even creative ideas to make it through this time with that trust intact?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah. So some businesses are not going to be able to keep all their employees. That's just a fact. And you could be the absolute best employer in the world and still have to get rid of some of your team. The thing is what do you do when your business picks up? Do you take those people back? Are you making those phone calls? Are you emailing them and saying, hey, we're a couple weeks out and we might be able to hire you back? What kind of communication are you giving them through this time? I think some of that is really important, because if you're honestly planning on hiring them back, they want to know, they want to know what the plan is. And then for those businesses too that currently have their staff all working and they're working really hard, but money is tight. Like, they kept their team, but it is really tight. Just to be telling your team about that, be vulnerable, communicate, because when you have a team that has one focused goal, guys, we got to make this goal, or we're going to have to start letting people go. You will see this change happen in the entire team. People that were disengaged before are suddenly so engaged, because their job and their teammates' job is on the line and they want to give all they have to. So I think being vulnerable, and that's really hard for some businesses, is being honest with how tough things are. But it's not really a surprise. We all know it's happening anyway. So just go for it and give them the communication, because you're going to see that switch get flipped and people are going to really step it up.
That's awesome. That's such good advice. So for our business people who are in that place, that they do have to let people go, and maybe even more people than they intended. Is there any advice you have for them on how to handle that time and what that looks like?
Oof. It's not easy. I wish there was a one quick fix and let's make this easy for everybody. It's not out there. The thing that you can do, like I said, is stay positive, stay communicating, make sure that you know your team, the people that you're letting go. There's obviously a reason that you're choosing to lay them off over somebody else. Make sure that you're letting them know that when you can, you're going to get them back. Check in with them. Hey, are you doing okay? Do you have housing? Is there something that you can help them with in this time where they're not getting their unemployment check? Because those are really behind. So I think it's not just about, are you keeping them or are you laying them off? It's how are you treating them in this time? Are you still treating them like they were a part of your team? Are you still treating them like they matter? And those are the things that last, and that's what creates culture. And I think that's something that will shock people that have been laid off. Is my employer reached out to me and checked on me, and they said, hey, are you doing okay? How can we help you right now? Even though we can't give you a job, what else can we do to help you? So I think those are some ways to really keep that connection going, and just be yourselves, be authentic, be who you are, but keep that communication open.
That's so awesome. So what has been interesting about this time for me is that while there is so much change and so much weird stuff happening, I'm also seeing that there are these strange opportunities that are popping up. And so within HR, and you've touched on it a little bit with the communication, within HR, what are some of the opportunities, the unique opportunities that this situation has provided to companies?
Ooh, so good. That's such a good question. What is it they say, the mother of invention, necessity is the mother of invention. I think that's where we're at right now. It's so funny. And the thing that I can't get away from is remote work options. And people have been all over, we cannot do our business remotely. That's not how this works. And there's that little part of you that's thinking, did you try? Have you thought about it? And now all of a sudden, everybody's working remote. And you have these businesses that are still maybe not thriving, but they are surviving because they moved their entire company to remote, and how quickly they had to do that. It's fascinating. So if they did that with more intention, with more planning, how much more successful could they be? And in our workforce right now, employees want flexible work options. It is the number one way that you can get a quality, talented individual to come work for your company. So now that has happened, don't stop. Do not stop offering those options. Think about more ways that you can do it even better. And look for it. I think that has definitely been one of the huge opportunities I've seen come out of this, and just the creativity around remote working is amazing.
Yeah, that's so smart. Use the opportunity as a time to learn, really. You can learn real fast what doesn't work in remote and what does. And get a plan in place for the future.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, is there anything else that you want to share with people? Anything else you think employers just really need to know right now?
If there's something that I could say to any employers watching this, is don't lose hope. And it feels very hopeless right now. It feels scary. Some of you may be getting some loans coming in, and that's exciting. Some of you may not. My encouragement to you is keep your hope, stay encouraged, go surround yourself with other businesses that are going through this too. Keep up with the positive ideas, get creative. Don't say no to any idea. And lastly, when you feel like you run out of ideas, make sure you're talking to your team, because I guarantee you, your team is thinking day and night about ways to keep their job. And if you ask them, they probably have some really awesome ideas to help your business. So keep the hope, stay positive, and you guys got this.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on with us, Brooke. If you could just let them know, anybody who has questions, who needs HR help, how can they get a hold of you?
Yes. So if you have an HR manager, make sure you're looping them in on these conversations. Some of those people are really underutilized right now, and believe me, they've got some good stuff for you. If you don't have an HR manager, please call me. I would be happy to sit down and have some free talk with you and just help however I can. You can reach me at my email, which is my name, Brooke at brookewinterhr.com, or you can go to my website, which is also brookewinterhr.com. And then you can go on Facebook. I'm on there a lot, posting, doing updates, which is great. And also phone number, I text, you can call 530-238-5642.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again.
Thanks, Megan.
For more information or to apply to work with one of our advisors at no cost to you, visit us online at sbdcsc.org.